We got one last division left on this 2021 season preview, and then next week we're going to talk playoffs and who we think's going to win this crazy season. Could we have a repeat? I don't know. Tune in next week to find out. This week we're talking about the AFC North. We're talking Baker and the Browns. OBJ's back. We're talking Burrow coming back from that injury with the Bengals. We're talking can the Steelers rebound? And then also, what about Lamar and the Ravens? Hit that subscribe button because we got all that and so much more. It's nickel and dime. Let's go. I have too much longer till football, Shawn. How you feeling?
I am ecstatic, man. I can't wait. September 9th, boys in the building, ready to defend this title on our route to go for 2, man. I'm ready for
that. That is nice, man. You know, it's like Christmas Day and you get to open your presents first. You know what I mean? You get the Bucks play game 1. So that's nice. I'm happy for you.
I appreciate that, man, but that's a gift and a curse though, because if you lose one of those primetime games or if you play early, you got to sit with that for what, 9 days, almost 10 days. You know what I'm saying? Like it is despair, my good friend. It is straight despair if you lose, but we need to come out on top.
I hear you. It's the Cowboys. You'll be all right. Well, today we got the AFC North, our last division in our season preview. We've gone over them all, and we've saved, after doing research, man, this has the potential to be a pretty good division. So I'm kind of glad we saved it for last.
Yeah, it was a good one last year. 3 teams over 10 wins.
All making the playoffs. You know, that's nice. It's nice.
It is.
Nice. Might be them in the NFC West again this year, like that.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see it, man. I honestly, talking about like just the season getting started, I cannot wait for our playoff prediction show because I've had like a lot of fun predicting the division and stuff like that. So like, I'll be honest, I can't even remember what it was. I have to look back through the notes, and I'm going with what I have here is what I will be predicting on the playoff show. But I wonder if I might get caught up in the spirit again. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Let the Holy Ghost take you.
It might. The Holy Football Ghost.
Yeah. Well, let's get into some housekeeping notes real quick before we get going. Reports have come out that Goodell, he was interviewed, I think, at like Jim Kelly's golf tournament or something like that. He was asked a question about the Bills and staying in Buffalo. And Roger said, to keep the Bills in Buffalo, we need a new stadium. So that might cause a little turmoil between the league and the team and Buffalo, you know what I mean? So now it's on the city of Buffalo to produce this new stadium.
I mean, I don't know why billionaires can't pay for their own stadiums, but it baffles me. That team is always going to be a Buffalo, so they'll wind up doing it. You know it'll happen. But honestly, Goodell, as we all know, is a mouthpiece for the owners. So if Goodell's saying it, he is getting it from the owners. So it ain't Goodell, folks. Y'all need to turn around and look at those folks in Buffalo that own the team. And you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard. It might be hard to come to terms with that. But if it's coming from Goodell, that's what it is. You know what I mean?
That was crazy. I don't know how early on I learned that, but football changes the day you learn that the commissioner is just the puppet of the owners. You know what I mean? Like he gets paid a lot of money to be like, what's that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's so hard for him to be endeared by the fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, you know, and I kind of made this point, but like, he really kind of only seemed like a have a beer with me kind of guy maybe last year when he was doing the draft from his couch, in my opinion. I mean, that's what it kind of seemed like
a personal side of it.
Right. Which you don't really see much often, but either way, enough Goodell talk.
Then they rubbed a couple of dollars together, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, my bad. I forgot." Vikings re-signed defensive end Everson Griffin, after a year away. He had 6 sacks last year with Dallas and Detroit combined.
Yeah, and hopefully, he's kind of sort of going back home, so I would expect, and Zimmer wants him back clearly, you know what I'm saying, so I would expect him to at least in that kind of a year, if he gave you 6, I would expect him to at least match that, and maybe he gets
more consistent,
Right, yeah, a little home cooking never hurt anybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, speaking of home cooking, the Kansas City no longer wants tacos. They cut defensive end Taco Charlton, thus ending his 3-year run with the team.
Yeah. It should be noted that they cut his ass right before Taco Tuesday. I'm just saying. So he's available for any and all endorsements tomorrow. So.
I mean, if I was Jack in the Box, I'd get him to endorse those little tiny tacos. Why not?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's easy check.
Just in time for football season.
Right.
Oh man. Well, that's really all I got, man. Another good round of preseason games. The rookies continue to play pretty well.
They do.
Carolina's defense breaks my heart at times.
Yeah. Hey, we gotta talk about it. Who is the dude who came in relief of made me forget his name, Lamar Jackson. Who was the Lamar Jackson clone that was out there on the field against the Carolina Panthers? Because he was passing the ball well, playing behind the makeshift offensive line, crisp passes, throwing darts out there, falling away. This man was doing it all. He was doing it all out there.
You talking about Mr. Tyler Huntley?
Tyler Huntley. Well, look, it is clear to me, Drew. It is clear to me that the Baltimore Ravens clearly have a type. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know if it was RG3, so I was like, oh man, RG3 out there looking crispy, about to get this roster spot. No, not RG3. RG3 don't wear number 2. And then I saw that it was Huntley on the back, and I was like, let me go back to watch this tape.
He undrafted from Utah. He went 24 for 34 for 187 yards. Did throw a pick, though. But
I mean, listen.
The running game took care of it, so don't worry about it.
Good with bad. I mean, and Gus Edwards was out there doing this thing, too. I mean, much to the dismay of my lovely host here. It was against his team, but, it was very interesting. It was very interesting.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of our big names played. But, I mean, I did see Reddick's interception. That was pretty cool.
Reddick did have a pick, yeah. It was a good one, too. It was a good one. Good defensive play, especially, I don't know, what you want to see from him as well.
We're still trying to figure out who's going to be our backup with Greer and Walker, and I'm a little concerned that we're not letting Darnold get his feet wet with his offense. So
Yeah. You mentioned it before, man. I mean, I don't want to say that y'all boys are hiding Sam Darnold right now, but people in the league seem to think that those boys are hiding Sam Darnold. Okay,
it's gonna be a great surprise. No, I don't know.
Right? Yeah, I just have some questions, but so what is and you let me know what's the situation that it's looking like for the third game?
I haven't heard anything. I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm waiting to find out myself.
Yeah.
If Rule has spoken on it, I haven't seen it yet. So, I don't know.
Maybe he hadn't spoken on it.
All right, well, let's get into this AFC North great division, top to bottom, because even the first team we're going to talk about, the Cincinnati Bengals, have a lot to look forward to. They got a new quarterback. They got a new wide receiver. Was a little bummed Gio left town and went to Tampa. I thought that 1-2 punch was real nice for him, but it's the Cincinnati Bengals. They went 4-11-1 last year. That old tie.
How
do you feel they did in the draft this year? They got Jamar Chase in the first round.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of their draft. They did get Jamar Chase, and we are going to talk about it in a second. Jackson Carmen, who is definitely going to be in the mix to get some valuable reps, maybe even start, depending on how that offensive line shakes out. It's going to be very interesting, but I like, and they did get Cam Sample. Joe Osai actually looked pretty good in that Tampa game. I think he had a sack in that game, so good for him. But other than that, man, like I wasn't a huge fan of their draft. But Drew, we gotta talk about it. I mean, you mentioned Jamar Chase. After that rough outing, are the Bengals fans, whichever one of y'all, are y'all regretting not getting Penei Sewell after watching Jamar Chase drop the ball? Like, well, I gotta know. You know what I mean?
I think I can't speak for Bengals fans, but if I was a Bengals fan, I would give him this little leeway. I mean, I would still be bummed we didn't get Penei Sewell in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, I'd probably still be a little upset about that.
Yeah, who's look good.
But yeah, if he still has the oopsie daisies week one, then yeah, that man's gonna get booed.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And, like, I mean, I saw some folks trying to maybe excuse, like, not playing with Burrow, not, like, really having a lot of time, whatever, like, rookie stuff. But, like, some of these, I've seen this man catch way harder balls, you know what I'm saying, in college than what was being thrown at him. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So, hopefully, he can kind of get it together. I think he had three drops last game. Three drops.
And it was hitting him in the hands. It wasn't a physical thing. It was a mental thing, and that's what worries me more. Like, I'd much rather you, like, lay out and just admit, like, you're not fast enough to get under the ball. You can adjust that. But if it's mental and it's hitting you in the hands and you're like, bloop, then it could be a problem.
Yeah, him and O.J. Howard, apparently.
I saw your tweet. I didn't know exactly what that was about.
That guy, dropping a whole bunch of them. Back to the Bengals though, but like Drew. I mean, these guys did address a lot. Like they brought in Riley Reef. Talking about not getting Penei Sewell. They went OT in the draft. Jackson Carmen, Riley Reef. They brought over. They got rid of a lot of names that have been there for a while, but then also brought in some it's kind of a youth movement, like some youth infusion. Trey Hendrickson over from the Saints, like you know him. Chidobe Awuzie, another young guy who's he's had some ups and downs. I like Chidobe Awuzie. I like him coming out. Brought over Mike Hilton. He comes over from a division rival in the Steelers, one of the best slot corners of the past couple of years. So Ricardo Allen.
They get Washington's project tight end too, Thaddeus Moss.
They get that Moss,
to keep an eye on,
Yeah, he hasn't really had the kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, he hadn't really had the career that people thought he was going to have coming out of LSU, even being like a lower draft pick or whatever he was. But hopefully he can kind of turn it around here.
Might
you know what I'm saying?
Switch it a little bit. And they did pick up Eli Apple.
That's like, yeah.
Like,
he
third or fourth chance in the league here.
That's what I just said. Yep. He keeps getting chances, man. I don't know what it is, man, but like maybe was he out of Ohio State, man? It's just like you might just keep getting chance after chance just because of like where you were drafted, what school you came out of, and like in a position. So I think that's what it is for him.
Nice. Well, let's talk about this offense real quick because Mr. Burrow is coming back.
He is. And Drew, can this offensive line protect Joe Burrow? Point blank.
That's the $1 million question.
It really is. However much Joe Burrow's contract is worth is exactly how much that question is worth. If he is protected, it's great. But if not drafting Penei Sewell looks that much worse. Like, I feel like this whole season is going to be a back and forth between that.
It's like, did you make the right choice?
Did you make the right choice? And I mean, I think, and it's good that we went right to the offensive line because that is going to be like a huge undertone of their season. Pro Football Focus has those guys projected 25th in 2021. Like, that's not good. Guess who is above them though? Like, guess who PFF projects to be above them as of right now before the season starts? And this is for you Bengals fans. The Texans, the Broncos, the Jets, and the Jaguars, according to them, all have better offensive lines than you have right now. So we will see. We will see. Like, can they prove it? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know.
Well, that offensive line also needs to open up some gaps for Mixon. Mr. Mixon needs to get into this offense early and often, I think, for them to have some success this year.
Yeah, he does, and he does. And Drew, you mentioned it earlier, losing Gio Bernard to Tampa. It's the Joe Mixon show. Like, and you know, I'm a Joe Mixon guy. You a Joe Mixon guy. This is his year. Like, there's nobody behind you to take reps, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, Samaje Perine is a backup. I don't know if they're gonna elevate him. He had a lot of cachet coming out. I thought he was underrated, but I mean, he hasn't really done a whole bunch. It's your show, Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's all you, bruh.
Yeah. So, and I love Joe Mixon, so it's definitely time to see him step up, man, for real.
Well, I got a question for you. Who do you think will be Joe Burrow's go-to receiver? If Chase still has, like, the dropsies, do you think Tyler Boyd continues to grow? Do we see an even bigger uptake in Higgins? Like, who's Joe's go-to guy in this passing game?
I think Higgins will elevate, but I still think it's got to be Tyler Boyd because of just being a vet. Like, he's done it for the last couple of years. He can be counted on. I don't think they'll diminish his role to elevate somebody else. I think it'll kind of work all together. So I think while Higgins sees an uptick, it's still got to be Boyd for me, man. Got to be Boyd.
Okay.
Yeah. And Drew, I mean, lastly, we did not mention this man other than everything that's surrounding him. But Burrow, man, like, we have not seen him this preseason this far, man. What should we expect there, man? I don't know. I don't know, man.
Well, you got to think there's going to be a little bit of rust there, you know, like being in that game. You know, even if he's got a little bit of the flinches, you know what I mean? Like when people come to hit him,
yeah.
You know, because like I would if I got my knee snapped in half, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not talking trash about the man whatsoever. 'Cause I would be like, here's the ball,
just a little just a little gunshot, you know what I mean? Like a little gunshot. Yeah.
So I want to see. I mean, all case in point so far has been showing that he's calm, cool, and collected. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like cool hand Joe Burrow. You know, so
yeah,
the baby face killer. But I just want to see how poised he is when he comes back. You know, like I want to see what he's like when the pocket's breaking down. Like as you just said, the offensive line is gonna allow that to happen. So. Because he does have some great receivers, but he's got to have the routes develop. You know what I mean? Like he's not working with old slant boy himself. You know, so got to let these routes develop. And I hope he stands back their first game and just has a shit-eating grin on his face and just wheeling and dealing. Because I'm pulling for the kid, man. I liked watching him up until he got hurt last year. Like I want to see him and Herbert battle for years to come. So I'm pulling for him. I just am super excited and anxious to see how that first drive goes for him.
Yeah, it was exciting, and like a lot of the more intricate parts is that apparently they ran a lot of 5 wide sets. They didn't really do a lot to help Burrow last year, so I want to see if that changes to get some protection back there for him. Because if it does, it can change a lot for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got to have that. I mean, if I had my quarterback returning from injury, I'd have a running back there every play, even if it was passing, pick up that blitz or whatever needs to happen. You know what I mean?
Extra tight end.
I'm not letting some linebacker come in wide open shot on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, got to protect that dude at all costs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well, we moving on to the defense. I like their defense. I don't think that they have a lot of depth except for in the secondary, you know what I'm saying? But Sam Hubbard he's been a guy really since he came into the league out of Ohio State. Like Sam Hubbard, I thought when he was coming out that like, there's a floor there, the Ohio State, but like he has come in and consistently been a wrecker on that defense. And they get rid of some guys. Obviously, Geno Atkins is not there anymore. They bring over DJ Reader, Larry Ogunjobi is a free. Yeah, that ain't happening. Then they bring over Trey Hendrickson. He gets a chance to prove that his sack elevation was real. and not just a part of that Saints scheme coming over there. Drew, the back end, Von Bell, love Von Bell. Glad he's not in New Orleans anymore.
He's one of the names I did recognize.
Yeah, Jesse Bates, consistently been a player in the league. And again, I told y'all about Chidobe Awuzie. So I like their secondary. I do like their secondary, and there's depth there. Like I said, they're the only kind of position group that has depth. Mike Hilton, one of the best slot corners coming in the league, coming over the last couple years, and Ricardo Allen, who like you might know from the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? So like, and of course okay. Eli Apple. So like, they're backing up these guys now. So if Eli Apple's on my team, I don't want him starting. So that's good, right? You know what I'm saying?
He's a rotation player.
Right, he's a rotational guy. And then not only that, but they got Mike Daniels. You remember Mike Daniels from the Packers a couple years ago. Nice backup piece. And Joseph Osai, the young guy. So they have some depth there. I, however, am very worried about this linebacker group. Like this, I don't really know too much. I know a Davis Gaither, but I don't know if that's going to take you over the top with the linebacking core. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely have an issue there. So,
all right. Well, let's get to the schedule because they got an early bye. They got Week 10 bye. If they got some injuries hobbling into that kind of because I don't see too many wins after that bye week. Like they play some brutal teams after that.
Yeah, I was kind of intrigued by their schedule, and while I don't see it for this team. I think the defense is I think that obviously the receivers, and they have pieces there, but like I just don't know, like you said, with the teams that they have on this schedule, where they're playing. I still need to see it from Joe Burrow for a full season. And I got them going 5-12, man. Like one more win than last year, but not really what you want to see, in my opinion, with the guy leading you for all 17 games, though. You know what I'm saying?
I got 4-13, bro, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah, so you got them going exactly the same. You know what I'm saying? 4-13, like no more wins than last season, but
maybe a tie. We'll give them a tie. You know what I mean? 4-12-1.
4-12-1. They might do it. They might do it. I think they'll be spicy though. Like I don't think they're going to get blown out.
I don't think they're going to get blown out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, come back next year, Bengals fans. I do like it. I like a lot of players on their team, man. I just, you know what I'm saying?
You hear that, Randy Slack? We're pulling for you guys, okay?
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns. I know how high you are on this team, man. So you do this you do the intro for Cleveland.
Cleveland basically did everything they could to put their names in the Super Bowl conversation. I'm sorry, like they literally went out and sort of like the Chiefs. I mean, I felt like they almost needed to catch up or play catch up with those guys between everything that they brought in free agency, everything that they kept, what they're hoping on, and then beating the shit out of the Steelers last year when it counted. Like that must have felt very good to them and that fan base. They bring over some attitude, Drew. Troy Hill from the Rams, John Johnson from the Rams, Malik Jackson, Tack McKinley. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Your boy, Jadeveon Clowney. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, and you telling me if he's healthy, him and Garrett on each side? Oh.
I want to see it. That was Drew. That was one of the questions that I had, and we can start on the defense because I think I want to talk about them a little bit more. But first,
let's start with the defense because they're two big draft picks for on the defensive side of the ball too. So
it is, and you couldn't have teed it up any better. I would say we got to mention the draft. Greg Newsome, the number 1 pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then coming back in round 2 and getting one of my favorite players in the draft, the Faller, who has looked dynamic, and he's been playing a shit ton of positions, Drew. I specifically watched that Browns preseason, those highlights. They had him at left linebacker. They had him at weak side. They had him at strong side. They had him playing middle linebacker. He was all over the field, man. And he makes plays, bro. This dude makes plays. I love Owusu-Koramoah. Round 4, they got Togiai. so pretty good. Richard LeCount from Georgia. Demetric Felton, the guy from UCLA. So, yes, I did like their draft. But getting back to it, bro, like, if you have a healthy Myles Garrett and now Jadeveon Clowney is now benefiting from that monster on the other side, you could have the best defensive ends in the league. You could.
Yeah.
The question is what Clowney is going to do, though.
But I love that it's not about their ability. It's about if they're going to stay on the field. You know what I mean?
True.
Because that does have a little bit to do with luck. You know what I mean? It's not like if he shows up and wants to play. Those guys are going to be trying to rip off the quarterback's heads. It's just, are they going to tweak something one week and not be able to get back on the field for 4 games? You know?
Yeah,
so
I
just hope they stay healthy because,
True. And not only that, I mean, we got to address that. You talk about health. I don't know what's going on with the depth chart on ESPN, but this looks like a MASH unit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see as many Q's and O's on this.
Questionable.
Right. Like, damn, what is going on here? So, like, this defense is Super Bowl caliber worthy. The whole team, the team is as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, if he gives you that pass rush ability, but there's a lot, like, apparently there's a lot of question with injury, players coming off injury. And I think, you know, kind of moving to the secondary, Denzel Ward's a guy that you want on the field.
God,
I mean,
dude. Those names on the secondary, man. Ward, Harrison, Johnson, Hill, Stewart, Williams, Newsom. Like, what?
And that's, Drew, we didn't even talk about Grant Delpit, who didn't play. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got injured last year. So, Greedy Williams, another, like, and I need to see it from Greedy. I know everybody in Cleveland needs to see it from Greedy, but, like, Grant Delpit is a monster. He was a monster in college. Like, I want to see what he can do. And right now he ain't starting. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might have it, man. They might have it, but they got the monkey off the back and made the playoffs, so I'm not even worried about them not living up to the hype. It's just what they're going to do when they get in the playoffs, who the draw is going to be, what's it looking like. So, if there's a weak point on this unit, it's got to be the middle, like the 3 linebackers. Taki, who has the best name in the league, and Mac Wilson. And now they got Owusu Cormo, and I think he's going to be hard to keep off the field, man, but it looks good.
All right, well, let's double back to Mr. Baker and the offense. You got him in the contract year. So Mr. Mayfield, I feel like, is going to ball out. And he's set up for it because the weapons, Chubb and Hunt. I don't even think you got to say arguably. That's the best running back duo in the league.
It is.
Easy.
It is. And like, that's literally, I wrote one sentence. I was like, best running back in the league. Like, best running back group in the league. Okay, we're moving on. I just, like, they just have 2 number 1 backs. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 number 1 backs. With the wide receivers, like, they have enough to put you over the top. When Peoples-Jones and Rashard Higgins are your 3 and your 4, it's really all about, is Odell going to come back and be that guy that they want him to be and elevate them and put them to the top? Because they did it with Jarvis Landry. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is going to give you exactly what it gives you every year. Baller. Like, every year. Is Odell going to be healthy? Like, what you think, Drew? Like, can they do that?
I mean, you know me, I was shouting trade him at the end of last year, but if he's coming back and not, like, I haven't heard any, like, negative stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't heard, oh, he's doing this at camp, or oh, he wants this, or oh, he demands that. Like, my man's coming to work and just trying to be the best wide receiver he can be. So I'm here for it. I'm all for it. I hope him and Landry and Baker and Chubb and Hunt just ball out. Like, I want to see it. You talked me into it. I'm on the Cleveland train. I want them to do work this year.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, you talked me into it because I think it was either last week or a couple weeks ago. You were saying that, like, you definitely believe Baker was going to ball with all the weapons around him. Like, you believed he was going to ball, get that contract extension. I am now on the train that I think the same. I think there's just too much around him. Everybody's being quiet. Like, you ain't heard shit from Baker. You ain't heard nothing from Odell. Like, they just been at camp, and they probably just like keeping it under wraps. This team loaded up. Yeah.
And the best middle finger to everybody is winning.
That's what you want to do. And we have not mentioned, so they got the receivers. They have the running backs. Baker, I think, will definitely, like, and he's more than a game manager. Like, Baker Mayfield's more than a game manager. Like, he can get it done.
Chunk the ball, man.
This team is primed for a Super Bowl run. And I say that because we did not even mention what arguably is the best offensive line in the league in this offensive line. I mean, Jedrick Wills came in, stud, Joe Batonio, Treader, Teller, and Jack Conklin, my guy, came over. That was a good pickup from them, from Jack Conklin over from Tennessee, man. Like, they have enough. They have enough.
And on top of that, they got that. What other team has 3 of those tight ends like that? Got Hooper and Njoku and Bryant. Like,
yeah,
wow,
yeah. I think together they give you exactly what you need. I wish that it was just one of them who can do everything that all 3 of them can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
well, they thought Njoku was going to be that dude. But
they did.
Hadn't been, I guess.
Yeah.
But Harrison Bryant showed really good flashes last year.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yep. And out of FAU, I believe, man. He was a sleeper. He was a sleeper. So, I guess that being said, man, like, what you think about the schedule though?
Well, they went 11-5 last year.
Right. Crazy. I
do think it is a tougher schedule. I think the schedule is pretty tough.
Okay.
And I do think they are better than they were last year.
Okay.
But I still think they're at the core and their heart of hearts still the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering where you're going with this. I'm wondering where you're going.
Love.
Right?
I say it with love. They're going to lose a game or 2 that they have no business losing. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I got them going 12-5. 1 up from last year.
I got them going 12-5. Yeah. Yeah. And I think I might have thought the same thing. Like, whenever I see somebody on the schedule, and weirdly enough, I think part of that is I think I have them splitting with Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying?
I have them splitting with Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Yeah. So it's just something about those games. I don't care how good the Browns are. When I compare them to the Pittsburgh Steelers, something tells me the Steelers might get one of those games. So
that's fair.
Yeah. So 12-5, man. Looking up.
12-5.
We'll see y'all in the playoffs.
Next up. Hey, they'll make it. Next up, the team that joined them in the playoffs last year, they went 11-5. It's the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson and company.
Yeah. Looking, Ravens. Ravens, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't wow me. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the offseason and with their draft. What about you?
I said it on our draft review that I thought they were the losers of the draft. You know what I mean? Because, like, they got Bateman, you know what I mean? But, like,
right,
my man's already hurt.
True. Yeah, and how
far is he going to be behind missing these critical times in camp? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You want to know something funny? The funniest thing right now as we speak, talking about like how what a mash unit the Browns were just a second ago, talking about this team needs receivers. If you look at the depth chart right now for the Baltimore Ravens, all 3 of their top receivers have a big ass Q right next to their name. Questionable. That is a problem. That's a problem. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we about to start this season too. That ain't what you want, man. And they need it for Lamar to elevate this team the way that he can do it. Got to see it, man. You got to see it.
Yeah. Did you see any other big pickups in the offseason? Because I just saw Villanueva coming over from the Steelers.
Yeah, they got Sammy Watkins. But we just talked about it. One of the receivers, they brought him over to really help this unit out. So they brought him over. Villanueva comes out of retirement, which I sneakily like. He must have saw that the Steelers were a train wreck, and he has the forethought to see that coming, apparently. So I like that. Tyus Bowser. Yeah, Tyus Bowser comes over from, I want to say, the Patriots, and Jawan James comes over from the Broncos. Remember, the Broncos did him dirty with that $10 million, like settlement or like whatever was going on with there. So he comes right over to a winning team who will pay him that money, and now he gets to ball out for Lamar. Might be harder to protect Lamar though, Jawan. I'm just saying,
right.
might have
You
to.
got to run with him.
Right, yeah, shuffle them hands up a little bit, but yeah, and I really didn't care for their draft. I mean, Rashad Bateman, I love. I think he's gonna be a great receiver for them, even though he's injured right now. But he'll show it. You'll see it. Odafe Owe, Jason Owe, super athlete. I wasn't really super impressed with him coming out of the draft, and then they pick up Shawn Wade, talking about that Ohio State cachet. So, but
Ohio State.
To sum it up, Drew, it was meh for me, man. Like their draft and offseason was meh.
No, I agree, man. Because let's go ahead and get into the offense. Because I'm upset Big Truss isn't there no more.
Yeah,
that takes a little bit of the mystique of Baltimore away from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because he was. I mean, arguably the heart and soul and like the catalyst of that team. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just don't feel like Lamar smiles like he used to.
Nah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. So that I'm a little worried about. But now it's fully J.K. and Gus Edwards show, and I'm excited to see what they can do. I mean, honestly, like with that paired with Lamar, it's going to be hard to stop, but they're trying to add another element to their game and get this passing game right, and I still don't know if they're going to be able to do that. Tylen Wallace did look pretty good in the preseason game. I did see some highlights from him. So,
and I mean, you love their backup quarterback right now. So,
Tyler Huntley, man, coming for Trace McSorley's jab. No,
I mean, he can't get healthy either, so it might be a you can have it kind of thing, you know.
That's what I'm saying. That's why he out there balling for his, man. He trying to make this roster.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to draft tight end Mark Andrews. Like, I feel like at some point that gravy train's gonna run out. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
I've leaned hard on him the last few years, and I feel like I'm gonna pick him that 1 year too long. And he just doesn't produce.
You want to know what's funny, though, is like because you went on this little diatribe, he going to fall right in your lap. Right in the draft.
I'm like, I got to get him there.
Right. You're gonna have to make a decision on that. Yeah. And it happens.
None of the other wide receivers stay on the field.
Might have to take him. He's going to get volume. You know what I mean? He's going to get volume.
Yeah, because he's going to be the only option.
What I really want to know, though, is... you talked about Villanueva coming over, but like he's replacing what they lost in Orlando Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like
Orlando Brown.
Is that gonna work out, Drew? I don't know. I don't know, man. The guy coming off retirement. I want to know how that's gonna work. But overall, like I think they look stout enough to, and I like Zeitler. They look stout enough to repeat their success, but I really, a lot of people are going to be looking at that right tackle spot.
All eyes on Villanueva.
Yeah.
Especially when they play Pittsburgh and Juju. All that trash he talked.
Yeah.
He talked.
Man, my fault. I was just, I just seen this that video last year talking about Juju. When you remember that Bengals Steelers game when like it was some trash talk before with like Von Bell, and then Juju got his whole shit rocked. You remember that? I don't know. The video just came across my Twitter, and I immediately was transported back to how I felt at that time. And like I don't know what Juju did, but he got his shit rocked, man. I'm sorry. Like
wasn't he dancing on the logo?
That's what it was. Oh man.
Yeah, that was his signature last year, and people hated him. Yeah. Well, they still do. I don't know why I said past it because it's fresh still.
My fault. Oh, defense.
Let's get into this defense, man, because I love their front four and the rotation pieces.
That was another note that I had. Good shout out there, man, because like I really like Justin Madubuike, man. He is a really good player, and he's in the rotation, just like you said. They get Tyus Bowser over there. They have Odafe Oweh, the young guy who does not. We talked about this all the time, man, but he doesn't need to be a rookie star. Like, he can come in. He has the athletic prowess. Just learn. That's all you need to do. Like, that's all you need to do. Drew, this secondary though, like, they're yeah. So I'm not worried.
I wrote down love the front four and the rotation. I love the combo of Harrison and Queen at linebacker. And then I was like, the next thing I wrote down is Peters is a liability.
Oh, I mean, his head, yes. His football play, still up there with the best in the league, man. Like, he can do it.
I just feel like I've heard him getting beat a lot more than I've heard him. Peters strips the ball away or Peters deflection.
Well, I mean, like, so he
and I like the guy. I like him as a player. I just feel like he's just
you feel like it's diminishing returns at this point, like for
yes.
Okay, I mean, I get that.
He's going to be. I'm calling it right now. He's going to be a step up with Sudsy candidate at some point.
Okay, I like it. Damn, you might have messed me up, man, because you playing to deceive now. Now I'm gonna be like eyes on him. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I'm for Marcus Peters until he shows me otherwise. But I like him and Marlon Humphrey together. It just works. Like he was glad to get off the Rams. It seems like he's come in, done his thing. Chuck Clark still continues to elevate his game. They obviously made the right choice getting rid of Earl Thomas because they're still having success. Where we differ on the Ravens is like I need to see more from Patrick Queen. You know what I'm saying? Like I still need to see it. 1 year in the league, did some good things. And to counter your point about Marcus Peters though, is I think maybe you see him getting beat more is because it's a detriment because he talks so damn much. You know what I'm saying? So like he's so loud that of course when he gets beat, you like You know what I'm saying?
To me, he's a new D'Angelo Hall. You know what I mean? Like you definitely know when my man's on the field.
Yeah, you do. It was so good seeing D'Angelo Hall get beat so bad in the latter part of his career.
It made my heart happy. I still remember when Steve Smith had him jacked up by his helmet. His whole body's just limp underneath him. Little 5'7" Steve Smith, like, don't you ever.
Yeah, Steve that dude. Steve is that dude.
He is, man. Well, how you feeling about the schedule? Because I feel like it's a little tough at the beginning, and then it kind of eases off. But let me tell you, let me call out these last 7 games. Tell me how you would feel if this was your team's last 7 for a stretch. Right. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Green Bay, Cincy, L.A. Rams, Pittsburgh. That's your last 7 games.
Drew, I would not feel great. Put it that way. I mean, but you really need your team to be peaking at the right time to get through that stretch. And that is the stretch run.
Stretch, then playoffs look great.
For sure, because they will be well tested. But I didn't even realize that. Like I went through the schedule and I was looking at the games, but didn't really piece it together like you just did. And now I'm like, damn. I mean, I guess like so. You brought up the point. I'll give you my schedule first. I got them taking a step back, bro. I got them going 10-7. I got these boys going 10-7.
I got 10-7 too.
Damn, like lockstep on that one.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe, and like I said, I didn't look at it as a whole, but they play some hard teams, and I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to count on that passing game, and that's what really did it for me. What about you?
Okay. Yeah, no, I chalked it up to the stretch. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the Ravens injury prone. An early bye week. Their bye week's week 8. I just feel like that schedule is going to wear them down. Will they be rejuvenated and ready to go in the playoffs? I don't know.
Right.
But I feel like they're the odd team out with the Clevelands and the Buffaloes and the Kansas Cities, all rising up and on the upward trend. And Baltimore's still struggling to address their passing game need.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know, bro. It's 10-7. Put it that way. 10-7. And I know that might piss some people off, but the thing about it is, okay, let's play a little devil's advocate here. How does this shake out, Drew, at 10-7? Do people realize what really may happen with this team, or does it all go on Lamar Jackson's shoulders?
No, I don't think it goes on his shoulders. You know what I mean? Because I think it's not really his fault that the passing game's not working. You know what I mean? Like, because he's trying. You know what I mean? It's not like he's just saying screw it and tucking the ball and running. It's just so many drops, man. I feel like every time I watch a Ravens regular season game, it's just drop, 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 drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Lamar does something crazy to spin out from a defensive end and chucks a beautiful pass and hits the wide receiver in the helmet and just falls off. You know what I mean? Like, so
all I'm
think
saying
it can be
is
on Lamar. Like, he's going to do the best he can.
Oh, for sure. And like that's I put it this way. We had to ask the question because what's really going to blow everybody's mind is if they actually do go 10-7, we pulling this damn clip out right here. And like, because we're already answering the question, because people will be asking that question. If there's a step back, I think that's the only natural progression. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's the natural, like people have to put their ire somewhere. And it's always at the quarterback position. But in this case, I don't feel like it deserves it because what he's already shown you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. No, he's been a running back at quarterback out of necessity, not because that's his game. I feel like.
Yeah. Yep. Good call.
All right. Well, last but maybe least, I don't know. We'll see how their season turns out.
Ooh.
Nah, I don't think so. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They re-upped with Mike Tomlin. They re-upped with Big Ben. They're running it back. They got a new running back to try to fix the lack of running game, but
they did.
Went 12-4 last year, but they felt like a lot worse team.
Yeah, they did. It's a nightmare. That stretch, 11-0 to 12-4, out in the first playoff game.
Yeah,
I mean,
I remember when they lost to Washington, that first loss. That was just,
And you want to know what's kind of crazy though is like the world laughed as all this went down. Like the world was watching this team take all those L's. And a lot of it was probably Juju. A lot of it was probably Juju. Yeah, that's he brought eyes. He did. I don't know, man. Like just before we get into it, Drew. Overall, just like one word, how you feeling about the Steelers?
Rebuild. No, I'm just kidding. This defense, like I was very down on this team until I looked at the defense. And this defense, like that's my word for Pittsburgh, because they're going to have to rely very heavily on them, is defense. Yeah.
I definitely think there's some truth to that. And they tried to supplement a little bit. Like they brought in Tyson Alualu, who, whatever. They brought over Trey Turner because this offensive line is talking about a mash unit. It's kind of crazy, but they are rebuilding the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I don't know what happened there.
When Dwayne Haskins takes over, he's gonna have a new offensive line behind him. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. So not only that, but I mean, I guess specifically, they drafted, Najee, got a new running back, Pat Freiermuth, the tight end.
Apparently I'm so glad you said his name. I was like, for.
Yeah, he's looked good, and
he's Penn State. He's your dude.
Yeah. He's looked good, and they needed that because Vance McDonald did retire. They did get Quincy Roche from Miami, and Drew, you already know how I feel about the Miami edges that came out this year. We'll see. But they did. They signed Melvin Ingram, and they brought over Joe Schobert. You said like they made that trade mid-game. Apparently the other night, so they get Joe Schobert, but honestly, it seems like the general consensus is that nobody knows what they're going to get from this team right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
You kind of had to pick a side and roll with it. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Because they're either going to be 12-4 again, or they're going to be like a 500 team. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like there's an in between.
Yeah, and I just they've had so many years of great football that like I coaching will help. Put it that way. So I know the coaching will be there, but I mean, I guess let's get right into their offense, man. Drew, there's a old QB coming off an injury with an offensive line that has massive question marks.
Sus.
You know what I'm saying?
Sus.
Yeah. Yeah, I do not know what this offensive line is going to be able to do.
To me, them drafting, and I've seen a few people feel this way, because I don't feel like they addressed the offensive line enough. Because was James Conner really that bad last year, or did he not get a lot of opportunities because of the offensive line? You know what I mean? Like, are you really bringing in Harris? Is that like putting an underglow kit on a Dodge Neon that needs an oil leak fixed?
Oh, word. Yeah, I mean, like, look, man, we was broke in high school. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't get that oil leak fixed. Took it to college.
Oh, man,
you know what?
I did the same thing. You know how many problems the Oldsmobile had? I was like, underglows.
Hey, but it was shiny, though, until I broke one of them lights going over a speed bump.
Yeah. So the O-line's still in trouble.
Yes.
How good of a year do you think these wide receivers have? If Big Ben is going to be, forced to throw the ball a lot again.
Yeah.
Claypool have a good year. How about Juju? Does he bounce back? Like, does Washington get a trade?
Well, I think that like the receivers, they have to be less talky, less internet-y. And they will be able to produce on the field, because all three of those guys, what they can give you at their height is more than enough. Honestly, I think Juju, Chase Claypool, who I said was going to be a monster from the jump, and Deontay Johnson, if he can be consistent with his hands, that speed is undeniable. So the receivers will be a strength if they can give you what Pittsburgh faithful believe that they are capable of, and they are. They just have to do it. But you mentioned Harris earlier, Drew. I gotta ask. They seem like they're gonna be putting a lot on this rookie. Do you think like he's gonna be ready for it to carry that kind of load?
I feel like they've already put a lot on him in the preseason. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, just hand the ball to him. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Yep. Because
I hope he's durable. Because one man's gonna get popped. Like, they're gonna leave him out to dry a few times, I feel like.
Well, and and we talked about it before, but it all hinges on the offensive line. I think they may change they may have to change the offense, because like if you think about it, if that offensive line is a sieve, short passing game, Ben Roethlisberger, it has to be short passing game to the running back out in the flat, and he can catch the ball, so that's a good thing for them. That'll open up the offense a little bit more, but also Ben Roethlisberger is not as mobile as he used to be, so that. It's got to be that. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be that. Now, talked about Freiermuth. I think tight end will wind up being a strength. Between him and Ebron, pretty good 1-2 punch.
I really like Ebron. I like him.
Yeah. He finally came up
alive in Pittsburgh. He finally found a team that he clicked with.
That's what I was going to say. Good. I can't put it better, man. So that... I guess that's the offense, man. Like a lot of question marks there.
Yeah, but not on this defense. Let me just throw some names out at you. Tuitt,
right?
Hayward, Watt, Bush, Highsmith, Hayden, Edmonds, Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. What? I listen, bro. I like that front seven.
Sounds like an all-star team.
Yeah, that front seven is I don't know why. Maybe it's just because he didn't play last year, he was injured, but I feel like Watt is just waiting to be unleashed. You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna murder somebody. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely defensive player of the year candidate. Might have been pissed that he didn't get it you know what I'm saying, a couple years ago, whatever. The starters look solid on paper. I'm curious though. Yeah, I mean, the questions I do have, Devin Bush coming off injury. I want to see that man live up to his potential. He is supposed to be the yin to Devin White's yang. I want to see that come to fruition, just like you want to see the Burrow-Herbert show come to fruition as well. So I want to see that. I want to see him come back. They declined Terrell Edmonds' 5th-year option. So man's playing for a contract. You know what I'm saying? He's playing for a contract. I want to see him do it. Joe Hayden gets another year older. So I want to see if he can continue to kind of play at that level and be who they need him to be. But Minka's gonna Minka. So I know he's
talk about another defensive player of the year candidate. You know what I mean? 2 on the same team. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. And
like you said, Bush could be up there as well. You know, so
yeah. Talking about waiting to be unleashed.
A lot of ridiculous players. Highsmith's no slouch. Like, good God, man. Like,
yeah.
I toyed around with giving them a better record because of that defense. But looking at the schedule, they got an early bye week. 7 is their bye week. I got them 3-3 heading into that bye week.
Right.
I got them trading wins and losses after that, man. I got them 9-8.
Damn, that's 3 in a row. I got them boys 9-8. Yeah,
a lot of disagreement on this episode. Huh?
Nah, it really ain't. And you want to know what? You want to know what did it for me, Drew? I had them 8-9. I actually had them 8-9, and then like right before I wrote it down, I was like, coaching the Steelers, they're good. Like, I just can't put 8-9. Like, something tells me that when they're right around there, they'll get some wins here or another. But that still makes them all arguably 8-8 team, and would have been what would have been last year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you. Clearly.
Well, then that puts us both in agreement here that that's a unanimous lineup for this AFC North. We got the Browns in first place, the Ravens in second, Steelers in third, and the Bengals closing it out.
See, now I'm wondering, talking about our playoff episode coming up here, man, but like now I'm wondering where the Ravens are going to fit in that scenario looking back, because that means...
Do they go from having 3 teams in this division last year to
one
team?
So who's getting in?
Can you know what I'm saying? If the Ravens don't make the playoffs? Like, what an AFC battle if the Ravens aren't
right. But you know what that is, though? You know what that is. So now that I'm thinking about it, and I guess we'll get out of here on this, you know what I'm saying? But like, if the Ravens don't make it and the Steelers don't make it, the other 2 teams that get elevated, Raiders and the Colts. I mean, maybe they get in. Maybe Miami. You know what I'm saying?
You got the Dolphins.
Maybe Miami gets in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be interesting.
I'm excited. Next week we got our playoff preview, the whole shebang 2021. We'll talk MVP picks. We'll talk who's going to be our Super Bowl picks. And then we also got our buddy Matt Simon. We've talked about fantasy football for a while now. He's won our league a decent amount lately. So we're going to bring him in, see what if we can pick his brain. Basically, mental ninja him out of doing terrible this year, so we can win for a change. Tune in next week for all that. Shawn, where can they find you on the social media?
At the Kid Suds on Twitter, at nickel_dom FB on Twitter as well, and the illustrious at nickel_dom football on IG. Drew, where can they find that content at, man?
Hit me up on Instagram. It's my favorite. Laugh with Harrison. Got all this and more, as always, on drewharrisoncomedy.com. My birthday's coming up. So, as a birthday present, just share this with a friend. You know what I mean? Share that content. That's all I ask. Subscribe.
Like and subscribe, man.
You know what to do. We'll see you next week.